Hey everyone, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 10. Continuing the upper bracket, we move to round of 16H here. It's going to be between Moose playing as the Galzian, it's a bit of an interesting off-faction pick, and Indust as Coalition. It's Moose who's been collecting the replays for me, so big thanks to him. He does have an info.txt for us here. He's a lower seed, of course, so Indust picks the faction first as Coalition, and Moose is going to pick Galzian. That's because it's actually a big advantage to have the counter-faction pick in some matchups of players, so obviously we want the lower faction guy to have that pick first. And this looks like it may well be a Rail Rush, which would be pretty cool to see. We do have those two on RU start going on for Moose here. Does he start Skimfab? No, so actually this is probably just going to be ref mode. Lame. I think if he's going to do this though, he probably doesn't want to start two on RUs, but I'm sure he's figured that out already, seeing the resource imbalance there. Moose bans Tight End Passage. Looks like Indust actually did not ban a map. He chose not to. This is called Moose Doesn't Play Gal. Yeah, I think that's a good name for this opener. And Indust picks the map here, so it's going to be the Boneyard. Moose takes Shallows and Kalash next. Moose has been a big proponent of the idea that Shallows is a very bad map for Coalition or Soban being matched up against Galzian or Conef. So it makes a lot of sense that he would pick that. And if that is true, then that's the ban that Indust should have taken. But I think it's probably true, but I'm just not entirely sure it's going to make a huge difference in a lot of matchups. He picks Kalash Teeth for game 3, and then Indust picks Torrent Crater, and Moose takes Canyon Outpost for the ace match. And as for the build for Indust, it looks like this is SC first. He starts LAV Fab as well. He's got the probe out, so he's got this in the proper order, I believe. I wasn't watching terribly carefully because I was busy reading this freaking text document, but he's going to drive this carrier out to the second base location, as you do. And he has another salvager queued up here to open up this wreck. Yeah, well, I can already see it. Because look, he's got the right build going, yeah. It's kind of surprising, like, SC First I think is a pretty easy to execute build, but most people just don't know what they ought to do, so... If you see someone who can do, like, SC First like this, yeah, he's already got potential. It's funny how quick you can judge a player's potential like that, eh? But... Moose is just continuing to fill out some salvages right now, but he does have this skim out. He didn't play this greedy, so he is going to be able to see what's going on. That's SC First, obviously. I mean, if the carrier was here and he didn't build a support cruiser, you don't need to worry about anything, so... He's just going to go eco. And Indust is going to pick up that artifact there. This skimmer actually went past the base burner, so we knew about this, but chose not to do anything about it. I think that's totally fair play. Just get the scouting instead. And that means Indust is going to get a base burner out with an artifact for his troubles. Actually, a little bit risky to do this because if it was like, say, a rail rush, right? You might have really wished you left this guy back at home. He might get killed for nothing. He might just not be there while he could set down a really impactful turret. So, but he is going to be rewarded for it this time. Production upgrade coming out from him as well. He hasn't actually opened this wreck yet, I don't think. So he probably wants to get. No, he has, because this guy's taken some damage, but hasn't started mining, I suppose. Not the end of the world, but definitely something he's going to want to look at. And this Sand Skimmer, very nice micro here by Moose. Wow. Really juking around these hills. He's actually going to get a kill here, maybe. Yeah, look at that. Oh. Beautimous. Oh, that was right on the edge, but this LAV was almost in range, you know, so... Gets another scout off for his troubles. Still no tech he sees. He's got 3 up here. So Moose is going to feel fine to expand, then he does have that second PC out, and this is what Galzian wants to do, I think, if you see this kind of build from your opponent. If you can, you know, have adequate units for the defense back at home, which he clearly does, he's got this assault ship out, go for that second PC and get up onto the base. And he's immediately teching the siege, which is really cool. You don't see that very often. This guy, working hard for his wage, as you can tell. We will have Railgun Fab finished pretty soon for Indust here. Does have Power 1 finished as well. A little bit prophylactic. I'm not too sold on that idea, but he will see with the probe that these assault ships are coming, so... Oh. They actually moved away. I don't think he got a blip of the probe there, so that's just kind of intuition. Oh, I see. He's trying to come back and defend against these LAVs. But he happened to accidentally dodge the probe, which is pretty interesting. Still, though, this LAV will see them. So Indust knows what the deal is. But Moose is already building that first Galzian siege cruiser, which is pretty crazy. And got a second queued up as well. Oh, hiccups. Now we do have railfab done, like I said. This is a good counter to the assault ships, but... Oh my gosh. I'm dying over here. Ugh. Sorry about that. It's interesting to note, though, I feel like assault ship tech opens up two counters to railguns, right? So even though assault ships are countered by rails, it gives you the option to get siege, which is... Jeez. Which is very good against railguns, and it gives you the option to get interceptors, which are also obviously quite a punishment to railguns out of position. So, oh my gosh. I'm dying. Why is this happening to me? Okay. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna make it through this. We do have... Oh gosh. We have armor 1 done for Moose. And he's getting the range upgrade. Oh. Why does this happen to me? Here's that first barrage coming out of the Galzian siege. And this railgun skipping and bouncing for joy, of course, that he didn't die there. But, oh gosh. Welcome to bottom gear. Bozo dies. Oh. Now this pretty much accurately reflects the experience that I've had with the auto fire from Galzian Siege, which is that it does nothing. So Indust pretty able to dodge the railgun shots right there. But he actually gets a kill on the assault ship with that LAV, which was quite a nice play. Happy to see it. Now these two assault ships from Moose are ready to take the main, but kind of being a little bit idle there, so Indust has time to just kind of back away. We do have that range upgrade done now for Moose. Oh gosh. Here's another barrage coming out. Which is pretty much just as effective as a Galzian nuke, by the way. That's why it killed all those salvagers there, so... This railgun here, though, definitely out of position. I do like the probe to give vision for the railguns that they can shoot from further away. But that guy just a little bit of an offering, so... Moose will take it. This is going to be a little bit difficult for Indust to get back onto that main base. Second barrage comes out there. This is going to be very, very effective on the railguns here. He's actually got another Galzian Siege Cruiser too, so... but this one actually slipped away, which is pretty nice for Moose. This episode of Bottom Skimmer, yeah. We should make a TV show. Richard finds a bicycle in a dike. And Moose techs armor too. Oh gosh. Finally marries his gunship. Yeah, he's been living with her for like 5 years now, you know. He's gonna be a pretty meaty barrage right here on the railguns. Amazingly, they've lived for now, but I think they might still die off the back end. No, they actually make it out of there. Didn't kill any of the salvagers either. That pressure is still definitely being felt by Indust here. This attrition is big because like next time he takes the barrages, you know, he's gonna be able to just kill off these railguns. And again, the cooldown on the Galzian Siege is really low. It's only 40 seconds, right? So that ability will be ready pretty soon. I guess the trade-off against Coalition is that your auto fire is kind of useless, but still actually works against salvagers, and that's what Moose is going to display here in a moment, because obviously they stand perfectly still, so it doesn't do much damage, but eventually it will push them off if there's nothing else going on. What? That's just absolute crazy talk. Ooh. I mean, everything over here is really low. This one support cruiser and the carrier's heal beams are just, they're way overtaxed trying to get these things all healed up. And obviously off the back end, Moose has been 3-base for a while now. He's actually got a huge float going. But Indust decides, yeah, I know how this goes, and he chooses to surrender. Doesn't want to play this one out. I wouldn't either, to be fair. And Moose does take game 1 here, so let's move into game 2. So hopefully my diaphragm stops trying to kill me. No, the Gaussian Siege, like, auto-fire shoots 2 shots, right? And the Coalition one fires 6, and it definitely does more damage. It's not really very debatable. Coalition auto-fire is way better. But of course, the best is Con F, which, you know, it's like a freaking direct fire unit, so... Yeah, it is. It's 6, I think. This has been pretty known information for like a long time, I'm pretty sure. Probe deployed here for Moose. Actually, the more I've played the Shallows, the more I've started putting that probe down like over there. But this one is still fine. He'll get the blip if people are trying to backstab him. But setting the probe up like over here so that it has vision on the backstab is, I think, kind of nice. I don't know. If A-Game's in chat, he can tell us, I suppose. But I'm pretty sure that's not true. Then again, I've been wrong about a lot of things before, so perhaps I ought not to be so hasty. But I'm pretty sure this is definitely an advantage to Coalition when it comes to the auto-fire. Indust with another SC first opener right here. Does send that probe out. Actually, this time he does it before the LAV fab. Probably wants to flip the order on those two, but still, this is a good thing to do to get that vision. So he will know if his opponent is coming after him. And in this game, it looks like Moose, once again, is just going to go ref mode. Yeah, he already has it started. Skimmer fab on the way too, so again, he's not going to play this too greedy. And Indust is going to see that scanner there, but he wants to come out and see if he can check the carrier. Oh, it's just this map. I don't think his colors are the same as yours. He's got red on the stripe anyway. DOK players and their colors, man, they get very defensive about these things. Ref mode is done now for Moose. It's going to bring that PC back home. So it looks like he wants the carrier on the second. That's the normal way to play this. And Indust has got rail fab started at a very early timing here. Bop. Opens up that wreck there. And again, he's going to start on RUs here, actually. You know, I think there was a time where this was a good build if you were going to go air, but I think it's probably best you just always start on CUs when you open the wreck. But he's still got that turret, so if Moose was going to try for some kind of aggro, he could easily drop a turret down and be safe here. For now, though, Railgun Fab is starting for Moose. We've already got it done for Indust. It's very unusual, right, to tech railguns at the start like this for Coalition, but if you know that your opponent was going to go rails, I think it'd be a fine build. In this case, that is what we have set up here. He does need to make sure he doesn't lose, like he doesn't lose strike-craft superiority if it does come down to like a rail fight type of situation. Right now he's going to try to scout the carry here, but he's not quite going to catch it because he moves up on the end where the PC is now on the base there. But he sees that PC, so he knows. He's got the probe though, and I think if he really wants to like see, he can just send the probe out. Probably this LAV is not necessary. Turret is actually set down on the main just to kill that one sand skimmer, but I think... Well, no, because again, he's got this probe, so he knew there was nothing else there. Probably didn't need to set down a turret. The SC will take care of that for you. And we do have AV Fab started now for Indust. I'm not a big fan of this, because obviously he has built a railgun, right? But once you've got rail tech, you want to say, okay, we're doing probably rails and LAV. And otherwise, if you get AV tech, you say, okay, we're doing AVs, and you might tech into rails from there. But I think that this order makes things a little bit awkward for him. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's like, that was so annoying back in the day, because you really could just like bring 2 skins to an expansion where you just had enough damage to outdo like the heal beam on the SC, and you're like, ah, you have to come back. Or even if it was just 1, you know, because eventually it would kill the Sport Cruiser, right? Artifact grab for Moose here. He's got a couple LAVs to defend. And actually these railguns for Indust are looking a little bit exposed here, but Moose is not quite going to jump on it, it looks like. If he had the turret to set down, I mean, maybe that would be one thing, but obviously that was placed here. Although Moose is saying in the chat he'd already forgotten about it, so maybe that's why he doesn't jump in here, thinking that he'll just drop the turret down. But if you can make your opponent drop that turret down, it's always better than seeing an opening where you could kill railguns and not trying to take it. And as for this turret, I think this would be a nice position on the hill here, but he hasn't set it down yet. The thing is, I really think he's kind of got to, because he needs to do something. Ooh, he's just going to drive up to the artifact. I don't know about this. Yeah, he does back away now. I think Indust really needs more units here, and if he's got AV tech, maybe that'd be a good thing to build, but he hasn't got an answer to these sand skimmers, really. So he's going to bring the carrier out, but now he starts losing a bit of eco. On the back end, by the way, I do notice Moose is building an honor guard, which is a little bit crazy. Don't expect to see that quite so early. But it's been a very quiet game, so I guess he feels like he can just do this. He hasn't built any railguns with that tech, because he doesn't really need them. And this is definitely something you'll see as players get more seasoned at DOK, is they're better at like controlling the game and stopping their opponent from just going straight to these late game conditions. That's probably why Moose is able to do this against Indust, because there's no control being exercised by Indust, he's just letting Moose do what he'd like. And now, in fact, he finds himself getting a window up onto this second base here. Railguns actually have accuracy against Strikecraft now, although they don't do much damage, so he is able to get a couple of hits here, but I see this is what he's talking about. Obviously that turret is still up there, he drives up onto the main base. Oh, and then he holds ground in the turret's range. Ugh. Okay. He's already lost 3 though, it looks like, so yeah, this turret is going to claim the life of many a sand skimmer here. And there's only 1 left, so not a big threat for Indust. Still though, would like to see that carrier stay on the second base, because otherwise you do start getting really diminishing returns off of it. Huh, Catharsis has changed his name on Steam. Anyway. Oh, really? Actually, I think that's not a bad idea, though, to build another PC, although the army is looking a little thin. But the carrier is pretty much ready to move out at this point, because once you have the HCCs, you can fight a rail war here. And especially if the Coalition player doesn't have Mag Excel, which he doesn't in this case. That being said, he's got the tools he needs to maybe fight the Honor Guard, if there's not too many of them, which is railguns, and you've got the AV techs, you can get armor, but I suspect that this is going to go rather badly, because Honor Guards, if you're not careful, they can really just destroy a rail force. And it's a very good answer to the Coalition plan of, you know, it's a really good answer to the Coalition plan of LAVs and railguns, which in fact has risen to be quite meta these days, although you don't usually see it this way. Blomp. down goes the railgun there, obviously flying to the Honor Guard on high ground here, does a lot of damage per shot. Oh, 420. But it's like plus 25% when you have high ground, so. Which is a lot, like I said. Now, he's actually not quite in range here, I think. There's a bit of an annoying bug with Honor Guards where they won't move up into range. You actually have to tell them to, like, move just a little bit further. So that's kind of what we're seeing there. And by the way, I love this scanner here for Moose. He actually can't see the resources, but he knows that the wreck has been opened at least. Just a little bit closer and he would be able to, so the scanner could be a tad better, but it's a really, really nice idea there. Ugh. This Honor Guard is just really dangerous to fight, like I said. I mean, it's very, very easy to lose units to the Honor Guard, and doesn't take much effort for Moose either, so until you can kind of change the comp up a little bit and get units that aren't so susceptible to like big damage AoE like that, really, really difficult to deal with this. And what would that answer be? He can go for BCs maybe, but I think like honor guards are pretty good against that too. I think what he needs is like artillery, but that's a really far way away. Fighter and gunship for now though I think is actually a very good tech, because obviously you can get anti-air on the honor guard to deal with that, but when they first come out, that could definitely get you a couple of kills. So. Oh, he's got range calibration too? I didn't even notice this at all. I love seeing this tech. We just never see it, it seems, but it's like so... It's so potentially impactful, you know. I really love seeing players go for it. And you can see this range is just really kind of insane on these railguns here. Honor guards aren't great frontline units, but they're better than heavy railguns, so having these guys have the extra range to fire from like behind them is quite nice. Let's be a little careful about this though, because these rails are up on high ground. Uh-oh, he's still moving forward. Yeah, he sees it now, but yeah, this honor guard is already going to be forfeit here, so pretty nicely done for Indust. Skims are here though. Catch a logistics module on the way through. They're actually just going to back away. Never mind, skims are not here. Air tech is done now for Indust. Oh, he killed another honor guard. What the heck? Oh my gosh, that's actually really, really impactful here now. If he can get a couple strike fighters up then and kill off these rails, he's got the tools to kick this carrier out now. And Moose is really, really suffering in terms of, you know, having enough railguns to like fight this. His carrier is not powered up enough to be able to fight off the railguns in these positions, so he will have to give the ground here then and move that carrier back. Now, that being said, he is getting another artifact out though, and I'm sure, yeah, he's got a big float here, so he can go for the power upgrades too if he'd like. I actually wouldn't even bother with skimmer damage upgrades. I feel like you need the armor to keep him safe from the AAVs, but other than that, I don't think you really need these skims to do all that much work for you when you have honor guards on the table here. But Indust, I think, should actually be a little bit more active in pushing his opponent off of this area with his carrier, bringing these railguns down and see if he can get some serious damage on that carrier. For now, though, he's building a gunship. He's got one strike fighter. Just needs maybe like 2 or 3, and then come up with these railguns, see what he can do. Moose should have seen the tech already. He hasn't got missile ship fab, so I've got to suspect that he doesn't know. That gunship will be big, but again, these skins do have armor 2 already, so they're not going to take that much damage to it. This guy's got a lot of veterancy. He must have been the one who got like all these honor guard kills. Gunship is in the air, by the way. Oh, jeez, the damage is actually huge here. Moose kind of doing the opposite of splitting. Oh my, and another honor guard falls actually for Moose. And another one is gonna feed in too, actually. Oh no. Ooh. This is starting to look a little bad. I see why you said this is titled, you know, Moose does not play Galzian. Yeah, he definitely, I mean, he condensed these sand skimmers about as tightly as he could have. Actually, I agree with the gunship going for the sand skimmers. I just think that these strike fighters right now should be on the railguns, because in my opinion, that's probably the best way to play this. But there's a lot of railguns now. Wow, there's 12 all of us. I have no idea where this came from. I guess Moose has just had a pretty big bank this whole time. And he's got armor 3 teching as well, so these guys are going to be pretty resilient. Of course, with armor 3, they actually had more armor than his sand skimmers are going to, so that's kind of crazy. March of the Penguins here as these railguns very slowly move out across the field. They've still got that calibration on, of course, but this is fine. This is actually how he wants to use them, because when you have that range advantage, you just keep moving out slowly, and that range advantage will continue to translate. It's about 300 meters, I think, that you get for. I think you get about 300 meters for having range calibration. And the gunship going to come out for another salvo here now. Missile ship fab has finished, but they're still back at home, so this is still fair game. But at this point, I would recommend going for the railguns, because I think that at this point these guys are becoming much more threatening than the sand skimmers are. As well as he actually didn't finish off any of the kills here, which is a little rough for him too. Still though, this guy's a freaking captain. Nicely done, Rob. I hope he lives to the end of the game, but it's looking less and less likely every second here. Because these railguns are going to come around the bend. If he does... Yeah, okay, he hasn't had these guys, like, auto... Oh, no! Oh. He didn't have them automatically, like, target focused on the carrier. Or manually focused on the carrier, so they automatically switch back to the railguns, which is good. And they had high ground there, too, but... It's rail armor 3 against 0, I believe. Oh, he doesn't have mag excel yet either. Oh. Yeah, this is a really big upgrade to get when it comes to rail fights, especially when your opponent gets armor upgrades, right? Because otherwise it starts taking, you know, like... This is like the worst case scenario. It starts taking like 5 shots to kill, I think, a railgun. And when you have high ground, it's a little bit better, but still, those aren't great numbers. Missile ships are in the air now as well. Or, well, they're not in the air. Well, they do hover, you know. They're floating. But I meant to say they're in the area, so they do manage to kill off that gunship there. There's no more free reign for the air units for Indust here. And I think Moose is finally ready to make his last push. He's got that honor guard ready to go. These guys are a little bit awkwardly behind the hill right now, but... Yeah, well, I agree with that. Because this is just so many railguns. I mean, they've got this range calibration. It makes them so capable of trading for free, too. Railguns are a force, I think, scaling more than linearly, as I've come to think about it. I mean, obviously the damage does just go up linearly, but if you can kill the enemy railguns before they manage to get shots on you, it turns out to be like this exponentially good thing to have more railguns than them. And the only problem is that this concentration represents, you know... This concentration here represents, like, 1,000 RUs, right? So if it goes down, it's like this huge catastrophe, but... You know, if the railgun player plays it right, he doesn't have to lose them. And sure enough, yeah, Indust knows, like, there's no way I'm gonna get back from this. He just chooses to surrender. He is on 4 artifacts out of 5, by the way, as Moose, so I mean, the game was gonna end pretty soon anyway. He didn't actually have to push in there, but... Yeah, Indust, he bought a couple too many shares of GME. He didn't sell them because he was doing it for the meme. He'll never financially recover from this. Happens, man. Now he will die a virgin. Let's jump into game 3 here and see if that's really true. Is he going to be able to take a game off of Moose? I don't think so, but Moose's play has some holes in it too, and Indust is definitely showing signs of life here. There's a good chance he may be able to at least make this... Maybe we'll be able to at least make this competitive here. I love it. I don't know if the Galzine's supposed to not go to space. Ridiculous. Yeah, how does that one line go or something like... We need you guys to settle your dispute over the assault cruiser so that A-game and... no, it's that Bozo and Descara can fight for 6 viewers again on YouTube. That is such a legendary video, man. I can't handle it. It's so good. Checking the builds here. This is probably SC first once again for Indust. He's got the money for it now. Yep. And he gets it before the VFAB, just what he should do. But this time Moose is going to mix it up a little bit. I didn't actually catch what his start was, but I think it was 3-1. But no, it might have been 2-2. It looks like he is going to go for the assault ship rush here. He's got those skims already on the way. I'll keep monitoring his fleet capacity. It's kind of nice to use the green player so we can see this. But it's handy as you're the rushing player if you can watch that capacity and get 3 assault ships out before having to tech fleet cap 45, because that gives you the option of going back to ref mode. But that's obviously not always the right choice. If you can keep the pressure up better by staying and building more assault ships, you should do that instead. I can't remember how it ends. I need to watch it again. I'll do that after the stream, I guess. But now we've got, as I crack my neck horribly. Now we've got that SC out. So Indust is going to bring his carry out in the second, but he saw that PC, I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously the probe got shot down by it. So you've got to be thinking when you see a PC up in the front line, like, this could actually be ref mode, right? But it probably won't be. That's kind of a big brain type of fake play to go for. What you assume then is that there's going to be some sort of a rush here, and it might just be best that you bring your carrier back to the main here and just try and hold on there. That sure enough is where Moose is going to attack now. He's going to hit this logistics module. The SC is healing it, so this thing's not taking a huge amount of damage, but it will die pretty soon. There we go. So it took longer than you would expect, but it does go down. Gonna go for the salvagers now. I really think that the logistics module is not the best choice, but at least he does get it. Oh, and Indust saved the salvager, but then brought him back to his death. Oh no. But he's got quite a bit of money now. Power 1 is definitely a good option here. But I think it would also be wise of him to set down a turret. And if you drop it right there, you'll get a bit of high ground too. Just to help you on the defense. And it's not going to stop Moose from getting what he wants, which is he wants to slow down your expansion to 2 base so that he can get it first. But it is going to at least stop him from killing your main, which might be on the cards again here, because on the table again here, because Indust has actually lost all of those LAVs now. Oh my gosh! Oh, ooh. Yeah, he doesn't really think this is gonna go well. GG's. I think that's a bit premature, but I will agree this was not really a great start. It's unfortunate to see though, but Moose is gonna take game 3, so that is the end of the series. Very, very quick game right there. And I guess we'll move on to the next one, so thanks for watching.